Hey, what's up everybody? So today I want to share with you guys 3 really simple DIY last minute gift ideas. We got a mango body scrub. You can easily customize this with a different color, different fragrances, and this only includes very minimal ingredients. And all the ingredients for all these products can be found on Amazon. I'll link to them down below. And then the next thing we're going to be making is some lip balm, and I have been absolutely obsessed with this lip balm. I think it's like perfect consistency. It's not too hard, not too soft. It melts right into your lips. Love it. And then lastly, we have these really cool and unique bath fizzies. They're essentially like a bath bomb mixed with a bubble bath. It's a combination of citric acid and baking soda to create that like fizziness that bath bombs creates, but it also has some bubbling agents, so it'll create some lather in the bathtub to bubble up. And you can easily customize the colors, the fragrance, and yeah, all the equipment, ingredients, and everything will be linked down below, so you guys can easily make any of these last minute and find everything on Amazon to get shipped to you quickly. So we're going to start with the most simple DIY and work our way to the most difficult. So let's start out with the mango body scrub. So you're going to need some kind of scale. I'll link down below to the scale, but I'll also link down below to a much cheaper scale available on Amazon. Really, any kitchen scale will work perfectly fine. And then you need a container to combine everything. I'll link down below to this mixing bowl, but anything works. So I'm going to start with 96 grams of sugar. This is just plain white sugar. Any sugar will work. Coconut sugar, raw cane sugar, basically any sugar besides powder sugar. Don't use that. And now I'm going to add in 22.8 grams of almond oil, but you can use any plant oil you want. Olive oil, coconut oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, anything works. And it's okay if it's not exact. This recipe doesn't need to be perfect. Really just any combination of sugar and oil that you like will work perfectly fine. The real reason you want to like follow like a recipe and weigh things out is to make sure you're using the proper amount of fragrance oil, because you definitely don't really want to go over 2% of your fragrance oil or essential oil, whatever you may use. Any fragrance, any essential oil works totally fine. And you want to add in 1.2 grams of it. But yeah, we're basically weighing things out just to make sure we're using the right amount of fragrance. But the oil and sugar can be used at any percentage that you prefer. This is just the percentages that I prefer. Now it's time for our coloring. I'm going to use this orange mica because I think that just works well with the whole mango theme. And I just eyeball it, just add a little bit in, and then mix. And I just made enough to fill up one 4-ounce jar, which is a 120 gram batch. So if you want to make more of this or less, here's the recipe up on the screen. That way you can double it, triple it, whatever you want to do. And here is also the formula. For those of you guys who work in formulas, you can easily scale it to however much you want to make. If you don't know how to transfer a formula from percents to a weighed out recipe, I'll link down below to my video that explains how to do that, because it's actually really easy. It makes it really easy to scale your recipe to exactly how much you want to make instead of just like doubling or tripling what I did. And then I made this cute little mango body scrub label. I'll link down below to how I make my labels. And I think this just adds a little cute personalized touch to your DIY gift. And you can even include like directions and ingredients on the back if you would like. And there you go. It's the finished mango body scrub. This stuff smells so lovely and it's so easy to use. You just want to take a small amount and you want to apply it in circular motions on damp skin. And then your skin will be nice and soft and moisturized and exfoliated. So for this recipe, you're going to need a scale. I'm just going to be using my small scale since I'm only going to be making a small amount. And I'm using this 25 milliliter beaker. You want to make sure you have a heat safe container, and you want to make sure it has a nice little pour spout to make it much easier. So I'm only making a small amount because I'm just making this lip balm for me, but here's the formula up on the screen, and then here's the recipe. So this is a 25 gram batch. So I'm going to start with 2.5 grams of candelilla wax, I believe is how it's pronounced. And this is a vegan alternative to beeswax, so you can replace it with beeswax. Oops, I just made a mess. Although I do believe beeswax might be a little bit softer than this candelilla wax, so you may have to use more of it. And then I'm going to be adding in 15 grams of sunflower oil, and this oil supposedly helps heal the lips, so that is perfect for a lip balm. And lastly, I'm going to add in 7.25 grams of shea butter. You can use a different butter of choice, but it may change the hardness of the lip balm, so keep that in mind. Shea butter is like a really soft butter, so if you use something like cocoa butter, it'll make the lip balm much harder. And now I'm going to cover it with some foil. And this will help lock in the heat to help melt it, and will also prevent anything from falling in. And then you want to take a pan filled with about an inch or so water, depending on how big your beaker is, and then place it in and put this over the stove top to let it heat to melt down everything in our beaker. All right, so I've got everything set up and ready because you want to work fast. So once everything is melted down, I'm going to add in peppermint essential oil because I love the feeling of peppermint in lip balms. And I'm using 0.13 grams. Now I'm going to take some vitamin E oil, which isn't necessary. And I'll try to find something similar to this on Amazon, but no promises on that one. But it's definitely not necessary for the recipe. And I'm going to add in 0.13 grams of the vitamin E as well. And this is an antioxidant, which will help keep the oils and butters fresh. And it's also just great for your lips as well. Then you want to mix everything together. And now we can pour it in our lip balm tubes. Made a mess already. So I was able to fill up 8 lip balms with only a 25 gram batch. Now these lip balm tubes are a little bit smaller than normal lip balm tubes, and I will link to these ones, but I can't promise they'll be in stock. Last time I checked, they're out of stock, but they are really, really freaking cute. So I'll link to them anyways, just in case they come in stock. But I will link to some other lip balm tubes as well. So it's the next day now, and these actually hardened up within maybe like an hour. And I have been using one all night, and I'm obsessed. I really, really love the consistency of this lip balm. It's not really hard. It's actually pretty soft. But yeah, really like this. So let's put on the caps. And there you go. Now you have a homemade lip balm. It's that easy. So you're going to need 212 grams of baking soda, 116 grams of citric acid, and 28 grams of kaolin clay. So we're going to grab a bowl and then just add everything right in. Now this is not my original recipe. This recipe was inspired by a recipe I've seen on Wholesale Supplies Plus. I'm changing up the recipe just a little bit. But in their directions, they recommend to sift this. So first you want to mix it all together. And I believe this will still work even if you don't have a sifter, but this probably just produces better results. Now I do recommend maybe wearing a respirator, or if you don't have one of these, wearing just, you know, a normal cloth mask. We all own one nowadays. We have to wear them when we go out. So wear one of those because the powder goes airborne pretty bad. So a mask will definitely save your lungs. So I recommend doing that while you're sifting everything. So now I'm going to take a separate bowl and divide what I have in here in half. Now if you want, you can weigh it out to make sure it's equally half and half, but I'm just gonna eyeball it because it doesn't need to be perfect. All right, and that looks about half to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and set these to the side and work on the next phase. For this next phase, you're going to need 28 grams of cocamidopropyl betain, and then you're going to need 8 grams of polysorbate 80. And if you want an eco-store alternative to this, you can use polysorbate D9 or sunflower solubilizer, but these can't be purchased on Amazon like the polysorbate 80 can be, so you won't be able to purchase these last minute. And then I have 8 grams of my fragrance oil. I'm using a combination of orange essential oil, lime essential oil, and a little bit of spearmint. That's what I'm using. You can use whatever fragrance or essential oil you want to use. So I'm first going to pour the essential oils into the polysorbate 80. And what this will do will actually solubilize the fragrance oil or essential oil, whatever you decide to use, so they won't just settle to the top of the bath. It will just evenly distribute throughout the entire bath. And the polysorbate 80 will also help evenly distribute the mica powder as well. So I'm going to take these 2 small beakers. These are both 50 milliliter beakers, and I'm going to distribute half into each container. Again, you really can just eyeball it. This doesn't need to be perfect. Now, if you're using 2 different containers where it's hard to tell if, like, you know, they're equal or not, you might want to weigh it. So the reason I'm separating these is because we're actually going to be making 2 separate colors. That's another reason why I separated the powders. So what I want to use is orange and pink because I don't really know why. I just feel like it'd look really cute with the orangey scent I got going on. If you want to make it like wintry, like Christmassy themed, you can do like red and white for like peppermint, candy cane vibes, or you can do like a white and blue for like a winter wonderland vibe, whatever you want to do. I just think these will look really cute. And I'm just eyeballing it. Doesn't need to be perfect. And then you just want to mix both of the mica powders into the polysorbate 80 and the fragrance oil. And then grab the cocamidopropyl betain and then just divide it half and half between both beakers. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then mix it in. And these will like thicken and chunk up. That's totally normal. So grab one of the bowls and add in one of the colors. And it is thick and clumpy, it's fine, that's just how it is. And it might help by adding in some of the powder into the beaker to scrape off like the rest of like the residue stuck on the edges of the beaker. And then just mix it in with your hands. It's literally the best way to do it. Trust me, just use your hands. It'll be a lot less stressful on you. And then you'll have a bunch left on your hands. Just scrape it off. It comes off really easily. And literally, look at how much the pink is inflating as I'm scraping this off of my hands. It got so big, I wasn't expecting that, which it's from the citric acid and the baking soda interacting with each other, so it's totally normal. But let's set that to the side and grab the other bowl and add in the orange, doing the same thing. Mixing it with your hands. So now that we have both of these, holy crap, this one is like huge. Wow, okay. There we go. Wow, okay. Whoa, was not expecting that. This is the first time I've ever made anything like this, so don't really know what to expect. So what you want to do next, I'm going to put both of these out of frame here. Take a baking sheet. I hope it's big enough. And you want to spread each color evenly on the baking sheet. Now we've got the orange, which has definitely inflated, and I'm just gonna plop that on there. Whoa, that made things so much easier. So if you wanna wait for it to inflate in your bowl and then just pour it in, that'll be much easier. And then I'm just gonna flatten it out as much as I can. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now, I'm just gonna let this sit overnight and we'll come back. All right, so it's now the next day and this stuff is hard as a rock, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. I'm gonna try breaking this up. I'm not really sure what tool is gonna work best. I'm gonna use this bread knife and we'll see how it goes. So I'm just gonna go for it. I need something to like, that's like long to sort of like, you know what I mean? Let me see if I can find something else. There we go. Poke and twist. There we go. So take your knife, get down, and then like push up. This is probably gonna scratch up my baking pan, so oops. I think it'll be worth it though, because this is turning out great. All right, this looks perfect. This is exactly what I was going for. And it smells so amazing. So I'm gonna be using these Mylar bags to package the bath fizzies in, and I went ahead and applied labels on them. I'll link down below to my video that shows you guys how I make my labels in case you wanna make some. It'd be cute if you made like another label for the back with like directions and ingredients or whatever else you wanna add to it. So you always wanna make sure that these bags are opened up all the way. That way you can fit as much as you possibly can in them. And you want to make sure you can still close them shut, but you can like squish it down a bit, sort of just break everything up more to make it look a little bit prettier. And there you go. And if you want to seal this up, just take a tiny straightener, a large straightener works as well, and heat it up and then just hold it there for a second and then hold it on the other side for just a second and it'll be sealed. And there you go. It's that easy to make your own DIY bath fizzies. So I do hope you guys enjoyed these 3 simple, easy, last-minute DIY gift ideas. Let me know if you're going to be making any of them yourself. I'll have everything linked down below so it's easy for you guys to find. Happy holidays, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Later. Stardust Bath & Body, Nature's Farm Girl, Kennedy's Essentials, Let's Blend, Wildflower, Heartfelt Beauty, KAJ Bath & Body, Blue Mint Soaps, Sol Air Label, Lenny's Beauty, Shark City Naturals, Ohana Lay, Danny Botanicals, Himpy Girl, Brie Maquillage, Alchemy and Clay, Bible Belt Boutique, London Latris, Naturally Flawless, Facial Daily Rituals, Your Spiritual Midwife 333, Paige Murray Hair Care, and Holistic Products by Black Soul. Also, I sell skincare products myself over on Etsy. I'll link my Etsy shop down below, along with all my patrons.
I'm stuck in the motions. I've been consumed by the wrath of time like I'm frozen. I'm shattered in this life. It's still the path that I've chosen. Because I've had a vision, now I'm on a mission to find myself with